Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. That's what we're talking about here in bonus week 5. And very soon we're going to turn our attention to EMP that you may be earning already and how we can add that back into the protocol without selling any of it so it doesn't damage the protocol and yet still earns you more passive income. But before we can get to that, I want you to really understand the process, of course. So in this video, another nice quick short video, I want to quickly flash back to something. I think it was in week 2. The weeks go quickly, don't they? Where we talked about liquidity tokens themselves. And because the focus, of course, here in week 5 is all about liquidity tokens, I just want to spend a moment really making sure that you understand exactly what it means when we talk about liquidity tokens. Okay, so again, if I could ask you just to really focus, don't flick through your phone, just focus on what we're going through just for a quick few short minutes here. Let's get 100% clear on exactly what a liquidity token is. Now, in the boardroom, bear with me, yes, in the boardroom we stake eShare, don't we? And eShare is just a cryptocurrency. So that's nice and simple, really, because it's one cryptocurrency. We throw it into the boardroom and it earns us EMP. Nice and simple. Now, the farm is a little bit more nuanced because the farm, we stake liquidity tokens. And liquidity tokens are not just one cryptocurrency like eShare. They are two cryptocurrencies that are paired together, creating this thing called a liquidity token, and then that, as I'm sure you know, is what is staked in the farm. So I just want to kind of go through that in this video because we are going to go and create our own liquidity tokens very soon using the EMP that you may be earning for free. So you might already be beginning to think, oh, okay, I'm beginning to see where that EMP is going to kind of work for me, but we'll come to that. So just for this video, let's keep this nice and short. Let's just, again, really get clear on what a liquidity token is. Okay, so what is a liquidity token? Well, a liquidity token is what we stake in the farm. So let's go and take a little look at that right now. So the liquidity token that we've been talking about all the time is the one, the EMP ETH liquidity token. It's often called LP, which stands for liquidity pool, sometimes liquidity pair. It's exactly the same thing. And this is what is staked in the farm and that earns us eShare. Okay, we know all that, right? So as the name suggests, EMP ETH, a liquidity token is made up of two halves. Now, here's what I really do want you to understand. The two halves that make up each liquidity token, so in this case, EMP and ETH, the dollar value of those two halves will always be the same. That's how liquidity tokens work. So if, for example, we removed liquidity and we broke a liquidity token in half and pulled out the two assets, from a dollar standpoint, they would be worth exactly the same. So let's come on to that in a little bit more detail. So we know that a liquidity token is always made up of two separate assets, two separate cryptocurrencies, and they're 50-50. And that's 50%, in this case, EMP, 50% Ethereum. And then they are essentially paired together that creates this liquidity token. Again, we're going to go and do this ourselves manually soon. But the reason I wanted to flag this up is as follows. Both halves of a liquidity token have to be the same dollar value. Don't worry about how we do this. And you're going to really love it when we do create our own liquidity tokens. It's not difficult at all. And again, how many times have I said, how many people in your universe even would know how to do this? I suspect we could count that answer on one finger, and maybe that's you. So really well done just learning this. But I want you to understand that a liquidity token itself is made up of two separate assets, in this case Ethereum and EMP. But to create a liquidity token, they both must be worth the same amount in money terms, in fiat terms, in dollar terms. So, for example, imagine we wanted to spend $100 on creating an EMP ETH LP token. So we think, I've got a budget of $100, perfect. So then what would actually happen is the token itself would be made up of $50 worth of EMP and $50 worth of Ethereum. Now, there will be different numbers of those tokens in the liquidity token, because the price of Ethereum and EMP is completely different. In fact, Ethereum is 4,000 times more expensive than EMP. So EMP may have, I don't know, let's say 4,000 EMP tokens in there, and Ethereum might have one. So it doesn't matter how many tokens make up your liquidity token. So it doesn't matter how many EMP tokens or how many Ethereum tokens. That doesn't matter. It's the dollar value that has to match. Okay, it's the dollar value that has to match. So just to finish this illustration, if we spent $100 on creating an EMP ETH liquidity pair, then what that would actually mean is we would spend $50 on the EMP part and $50 on the Ethereum part, pair them together to get the $100 EMP ETH LP token. That wasn't me blowing you a kiss, by the way. Or was it? Now, at emp.money, when we zap, which of course we've done a few times, this does it for us, which is great in one context, but you could argue maybe not quite as great, because if we want to eventually do it ourselves, to use the EMP that the boardroom's generating for us, then we have to learn how to do this ourselves. And this is what we're building up to. So again, we're going to go and do this quite a few times, so don't worry. But the Zap feature at emp.money does all this for us. But we can also manually create liquidity, and we can manually break up liquidity at PancakeSwap. That's all I really want you to know for now. So let's summarize. What did we accomplish in this video? Well, we understood that a liquidity token is made up of two assets, isn't it? And the dollar value of those two assets will always be identical. That's all you need to know for now. Literally, that's all you need to know. So make a note of that. And then what do you do now? Mr. Einstein is saying you have nothing to do at all. So let's carry on.